The birth of Sri Krishna. Kans, the prince of Mathura, had imprisoned his father King Ugrasen and had occupied the throne of Mathura. Kans was an evil man and a tyrant. He, however, dearly loved his sister Devaki. He arranged her marriage to Vasudev, a wise and virtuous nobleman of the Vrishni community. Following Vasudev and Devaki's marriage ceremony, Kans himself took the reins of chariot to drive the newlywed couple to their new home. Barely after the chariot had proceeded a few yards, there was sound of thunder in the skies. An oracle from the heavens spoke, "O foolish Kans, the eighth child of this very sister of yours, whose chariot you are driving with such affection, shall slay you." Kans was numb with shock on hearing this. He immediately placed his sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudev into prison under heavy guard. He thought, although it is foretold that Devaki's eighth son will be my enemy, it is difficult to ascertain which of Devaki's sons will be her first or eighth, but I shall spare none of them. As soon as Devaki gave birth to her first son, Kans stormed into the prison. He rushed into their cell and dashed the infant upon the walls, killing it instantaneously. Kans thus killed 6 of Devaki's children in this cruel manner as soon as they were born. For the 7th time, Devaki became pregnant, but this time a miracle happened. The fetus in her womb was somehow transplanted to the womb of Rohini, Vasudev's elder wife, who stayed in Gokul and was safe from Kans. Devaki's 7th child was thus born outside the prison to Rohini. He was the mighty Balaram. Devaki was about to conceive again. Kans was keeping count and was extra alert this time. As the days neared, Devaki pleaded with her husband, "Lord, please do something to save this 8th child of ours. I do not wish to live childless after giving birth to 8 children." Both husband and wife earnestly prayed to Bhagwan Vishnu to rescue them. And lo, their prayers were answered. It was Ashtami, the 8th day of dark half of the month of Shravan. It was dark and cloudy, and the skies erupted with thunder and lightning. Rain began in a furious downpour. Inside the prison cell at midnight, a divine light filled Vasudev's chamber. Devaki had given birth to a very healthy child of bluish complexion and a captivating smile. The infant did not cry even a bit. Vasudev was now desperate. Miracle after miracle now started taking place. All of a sudden, Vasudev's chains dropped off. The door of his cell opened without a sound. The guards were lost in deep sleep. Vasudev put his newborn baby in a basket. He tiptoed out of the cell and was able to leave without anyone noticing him. He went in the direction of the river Yamuna. The rain and storm had turned the Yamuna into a raging torrent. Vasudev stepped into the river as if in a daze. The waters rushed up to his head and looked like drowning him. But lo and behold, as soon as the waters touched the feet of the newborn baby, they began subsiding. Miraculously, a thin path right in the middle of the river became visible even in the dark and stormy night. Vasudev stumbled along the gushing river. He was barely conscious of anything as he went on. Neither could he see a huge 5-headed serpent shielding the baby from the fierce downpour. Vasudev managed to reach Gokul across the banks of the Yamuna. He proceeded straight to the house of his friend Nanda. Vasudev entered Nanda's house and very quickly told him everything. Nanda's wife Yashoda was asleep, having just given birth to a baby girl. Nanda placed Devaki's newborn baby in the cradle beside Yashoda and gave him the baby girl. Vasudev placed her in his basket and hurried back to Mathura, crossing the flooded Yamuna once again. No sooner did Vasudev reach his prison chamber than the chains fastened themselves to his feet. The prison doors closed automatically. As soon as the baby girl was placed beside Devki, she began crying loudly. In a short while, Kans stormed into the prison. Ignoring Devki's cries for mercy, he snatched her baby girl and was about to dash it against a wall. But in a flash, the infant slipped out of his hands and assumed her original form of a goddess. She laughed at Kans and said, "Vile rascal, your sins are now going to bear fruit. Your destroyer has been born and is alive." So saying, the goddess vanished in a flash of blinding light. The entire Gokul village came to Nanda's house to have a look at his just born child. His radiant form and enchanting smile captivated one and all. Priests named him Krishna after consulting the horoscope. Kans soon learnt that his enemy was in Gokul. He then sent many demons to kill Shri Krishna, but Krishna and Balram slew them all. When the boys reached adolescence, Kans employed a different strategy. He organized a grand festival at Mathura. He sent a special emissary to invite Krishna and Balram to Mathura with the intent of killing them. Shri Krishna and Balram reached Mathura for this festival. Kans ordered them to wrestle with giant wrestlers Chanur and Mushtik. Balram killed Mushtik while Shri Krishna took on Chanur and slew him. After finishing Chanur, Krishna leapt upon Kans and threw him down. He then sat on the tyrant's chest and crushed his chest, thus slaying Kans and fulfilling the divine prophecy.